Hello everybody and welcome back to another Magic the Gathering Arena video. Today I am looking at a creatures only deck. It's ESPER creatures. So I tried to make an ESPER creatures deck a short while back and failed miserably. The main reason was I was trying to base it too much around Rathadrabic, I think it's called, the legendary this thing of Urborg. But there are decks out there that work. I just couldn't get them to work for me. Like, my build of them wasn't great. And I felt like you're missing out on a lot of the creatures that make creature decks good, such as Tenacious Underdog and Graveyard Trespasser, by trying to force them all to be legendary. Or if you're not, then why are you playing it? And yeah, anyway, it was a bit weird. So, what I've done is just go for Esper creatures. With my own spin on it, basically, so not doing the legendary thing. So, the main reason that I wanted to build this deck was because of Ertai Resurrected. So this, on top of Brutal Cathar, basically gives us another creature that lets us remove creatures, or, you know, in this case, also counter spells. It's a very sort of powerful, flexible thing, and should work well in sort of a tempo-y based deck, which a sort of lowish curve, 1-2-3 curve creature deck is. I've seen it used in a variety of decks. I don't think it's brilliant in a control shell, but in a shell like this, where if we've got threats down on turn 1, 2 and 3, and our opponent's trying to answer them en masse, for example with a Meathook Massacre or, you know, Depopulate or something, being able to put an extra body on the board and counter that spell, even if it's given them a card, that doesn't really matter. It is just a massive tempo swing and makes a huge difference to the game. So that's where I wanted to build around, and that's where I got to Esper, because a lot of the good creatures we want are white. And if you want to play a creatures deck, which, you know, I like to try every now and then, you've got to run Thalia. We're running 4 of her. So yeah, that's where I sort of got the idea from, and then I've built out around that. So just working from the bottom up for Evolved Sleeper. So I originally had this as the white 1-drop, the can't even remember what it's called now. The one that learns. One rare. This one, Hopeful Initiate. But I just, because of all the tap lands we have and the fact that I want to be able to play it on turn 1 and then get value from it later, the Initiate just wasn't perfect in that slot for me. Like, I was too many times I want to play Raffine's Tower, I want to get my mana base sorted before, you know, I use it up here. So yeah, the Evolved Sleeper just seems like a better fit to me, and it's something the opponent has to deal with, whereas the Initiate can just sit there and grow to maybe a 2-3 over a couple of turns, and yeah, it's not as impactful. This feels like a better fit in my opinion. For Thalias, as I mentioned, this is essential in any sort of creature-only deck, and I did a lot of playing around with Thalia and Anointed Peacekeeper as a kind of white, mono-white deck, and it works really well in this creature shell too. So being able to run these two in a white creature shell is just so powerful. If you can put Thalia down on 2 and Anointed Peacekeeper down on 3, have a look at their hand, and either rule out something that they've got 2 of, or rule out, you know, the sweeper in the colours they play. So you could rule out Meathook Massacre, you could rule out Depopulate, whatever it is. It's so nice. 2 Guardian of New Benalia, it's just a nice 2-drop. It can scry for us, which is good. It can be indestructible, so this can be quite nice for playing against, for example, red. Being able to put down a 2-drop that we know we have the option of keeping around in order to be able to then use Raffine's Connive ability on turn 3 can be really nice. And then for Tenacious Underdog, because it pairs very well with Raffine, being able to discard these is great. And just to have a nice recurring threat that can give us some draw in a creature-based deck towards the later game if we get there. At turn 3, Peacekeeper I've talked about. Brutal Cathar for removal. We need some removal. Cathar is a nice one. Obviously, it's a little bit cut down susceptible, but when it flips, it's really nice, and it gives the opponent something they have to play around as well. If we purposefully don't play anything, set it back to night whilst we're holding an Ertai, because it has flash, that can really benefit us. So, you know, we've got some nice sort of interactions with these two. 3 Graveyard Trespasser, because it's just really strong and hard to remove, and gives us some countering to graveyard-based decks, Reanimators. 4 Raffine, because it's amazing. It's going to give us the draw to find the creature that we want for the time. So we might want to hold open a counter, we might want to destroy their creature, or sort of exile their creature. We might want Sheoldred for later game, or we might want Thalia, or whatever it is. great for finding the right answer to the problem. Oh, I skipped over one Cathar Commando, which I added during this video, so you'll see why I bothered adding that. But basically, it's nice to have an extra flash creature, and it's nice to have some enchantment removal, since I removed the initiates. So that is what that is there for. Also 3/1 is not to be sniffed at when it can grow with Raffine. Sheoldred, because it's super good. I think the best version of this deck could be 0 Sphinxes and 4 Sheoldreds, or 3 Sheoldreds and 1 Sphinx. I just am a bit addicted to the Sphinx, to be honest. So, but this is super good. I mean, obviously, if we draw loads of cards of Raffine, we gain loads of life. If we force opponents to draw cards by countering their stuff with Ertai, they take more damage. Like, there's so many synergies in this deck with Sheoldred. That yeah, it's a super good card, super hard to remove the opponent with 5 toughness. It's just an all-round superstar at the moment. Ertai, so this is again what I said I built the deck around. So it's a 4-costing legendary Phyrexian human wizard for 3/2. So it is legendary, so note if we use multiple of these in a row to counter something, we're only going to get 1 creature, but that's not really an issue. Pay 4 to counter something in a creature shell is pretty good. Also, their counters are going to cost more because of Thalia, so you know this is probably going to be on the money for a counter spell. When it enters the battlefield, choose up to 1 counter spell, activated ability, or triggered ability. So basically, you can counter anything with Ertai. That is also important. So, for example, if the opponent wants to you know, trigger a saga ability, like if they've already got their Cruelty of Gix down, and it's going to trigger the 3rd one that lets them bring a creature back from the graveyard, you can just counter that triggered ability. Like, that's pretty strong, because we don't, as I said, have loads of enchantment removal, so being able to counter those triggered abilities can be really good. And then destroy creature or planeswalker is also very nice. You know, that is flexibility in a card if I ever saw so myself. I think the nice thing about this deck is if you're holding open 4 mana in a deck that plays a lot of white, people are going to suspect Wandering Emperor, but they won't necessarily expect Ertai. I think people will more and more start expecting it, but I think people think Wandering Emperor when they see this type of shell. Maybe not if we've had to play Thalia, but maybe. And then finally, 2 Sphinx of Clear Skies. As I said, not sure it's the best card for the deck, but I'm kind of addicted to it. It gives us some reload if we get there at the top end. And also, flying and ward 2 is just hard to remove, man. It's really hard to remove. And it's the ward that gives me that glow when I play this card, because I know it's going to be hard for the opponent to get rid of. That's sort of why Raffine is nice. You know, ward 1 on a 3-drop, ward 2 on a 5-drop. Just so nice. Anyway, creature-based deck, always my favourite kind. I'll try and explain a little bit about as we play some games, but otherwise, enjoy, have some fun, and give it a go yourself. Let's have some games. Okay, here we go. Turn 1, Raging Goblin. Yes, just about, as long as we get a land. We are only running a mere 24, so I'm slightly concerned. Ah, we got one. Good. Always Thalia first. Always Thalia first. As soon as you ever don't play Thalia first, you regret it. That is what I have learned playing all decks in Magic the Gathering ever. Underdog, good, you can go. It's a pretty sweet combo. Rivers of the Claw. Come on, dude. Am I going to bounce either back? I might bounce the Raffine back to my hand. Let's chuck one of these on the Guardian. Got to see what they're hiding in their hand. There's 2 mana tools for Dragon Skulls. I don't want to be meat hooked, but I'm not getting meat hooked anytime soon. I am getting Junjied next time. Might as well get rid of one of them. Rivers of the Claw. Okay. Sleeper can go, yeah. Make me discard two. Or you're going to put one of these 3 small creatures onto the battlefield under your control. That is a weird block. Okay. It's a shame, but my commando has to go in the bin. So even if they meet hook now, it can only be for 2. Got another Junji. Oh, they can cast them from the graveyard, that's why it's not weird. It'll block the ninja. That is okay. Although they will now get a Sphinx if they want one. Oh no, when it dies, exile it. So you don't actually get the death effect, right? No. Oh, you do. You do get the death effect, it just gets exiled. Okay. So you can put River as the back of your one. So now what's the Sphinx? Yeah, I mean, fact or fiction away, man. Fact or fiction away. And didn't attack. Okay. One, two, three. Yeah. Jesus. Ding ding ding. Sweet. Multi-kill for Sheoldred. What? I do not know how First Strike works. How do you get to Mythic when you don't know how First Strike works? What? That's odd. So now we can be meat hooked for what's 7/4 and kill these 2. But that ain't saving you the game. We've got this beast here. Okay. Convincing. Thalia makes a difference. I mean, that was a janky deck we were playing against, but still. Nice start. Okay. Let's prepare me up against another Dragons deck, please. I feel like that Dragons deck is one that could be fun. I never see it being competitive, but it could be fun, couldn't it? Maybe I'll have to give it a try. Look, we got another Thalia turn 2, so I'm in. We've even got this weird combo where you let Thalia first strike and then you ninjutsu this in for 5 damage on turn 3. The weird like first strike aggro biting palm ninja combo. Gonna have to make a Rakdos version of that with Cemetery Gatekeeper. Fun to keep picking up the Gatekeeper and selecting something else in their graveyard. Watch this space. So, blue, white. Will Thalia resolve? If she does, it's great. If not, bad. Bad. No one pauses this long without having counter. Oh, Impulse. It was all for show, Kiran. It was all for show. Like your tree, your digital tree. Look at that. All for show. Now your life is much worse. Especially if you're playing tap lands. Okay, we're definitely not picking up our Thalia to flash the ninja in, but we probably just play it. See, what I mean is, after first strike phase, look, you can still flash this in and get in for 3. But I think this game, having Thalia down is actually better than exiling a card from their hand. Look at that, 2 for consider. Can't even counter the ninja. God, Thalia's good. No board wipes for 3, so yeah. Have to borrow time for 4. I guess we just go, well, do we expect like a depopulate? If so, we should go Guardians of New Benalia. I think we go Sleeper maybe. And 1 Guardian. Then we can have a 3/3. Yeah, we'll have a load of damage this turn. So, what we'll do. So, this could be a Wandering Emperor. Thinking about it, that is what this probably is. Is a Wandering Emperor. So, we want to spend our mana drawing a card. So if we enlist, they will exile. I think we just don't attack. I'll be amazed if it's not a Wandering Emperor. Could be a Memory Deluge as well, though, is the concern. Thirst for Discovery. Maybe I should have attacked. Regretting my decisions. Alright. Now we'll do it. We'll do it. We'll go with the Guardian, because at least we can enlist. There it is.
Now you've done it. Hat's coming off.
No more lands, please. Okay. Could be like a farewell here, though. It's almost like I've played this game before.
I have got new moves to teach you.
We can get our Biting Palm Ninja back. Let's give them this to deal with. If they're just moving in board wipe circles.
Remember your training.
Now, where are my Raffines? They're countering this, aren't they? Just seeing if they care about the ninja, which they will. Looking for a counter at least. exile their terror. Bloop, bloop, bloop.
Keep watch for intruders.
Alright. Let's throw this here and these like this. Get rid of that in case there's any way of getting it back. I reckon block, block, allow through. Depends what they've got in their hand though. Yeah. Just negates, which then we know are useless. Okay, at least they've not got anything. Just one terror.
Let your blade do the talking.
So we can get back our Sheoldred and put that in and just bleed them out. Unless they just talk to creature counter. No. Operation Bleed Out engaged. I mean, they actually topped a march. Come on.
I have got new moves to teach you.
Come on. What is that? We looked at our hand, we played everything as strategically as we could, and then that happens. Should have attacked with both. What's the decision here? You can see my hand. There is no hand. Just giving them a chance to draw like a farewell or something here, aren't we? Or more marches.
Strike fast and strike hard.
Okay. Dead. Dead Emperor. Trade what you like. Probably just kill these two, won't we? And we've got another Thalia.
Still have much to learn.
Although I am going to have to jump. Look at the top 5 because we made it more expensive with Thalia. One case where she's not particularly useful. Late game against blue-white control. All the more reason to jump with her. Send her straight to hell. Oh man. Could you please farewell, opponent? No, don't fancy it this time. That's strange. Seemed all keen on doing the farewells earlier. Shit. GG. Crushed by control. Okay. Over to go red. A little tribute account. That's cute. Must be people setting up like second accounts because you don't know about Covert Go Blue until you play Magic the Gathering, surely. Yeah, I don't know. Definitely a Thalia first game again. Cheeky Commando. So what do we got in here? Bloodthirsty adversary. That's got to be the thing that we. I mean, it's got to be the thing. They can stop us from blocking with Thalia anyway, so not got enough lands at the moment, so. Obviously we won't be blocking that. Let's put this in and let's choose that. We want creatures in the graveyard for our Trespasser. Opponent got mana screwed, I suppose, but the those Peacekeepers just show you how vicious they are if you do get at all mana screwed. Okay, mint. And it's a Teferi. Oh no. Lord, give me strength. The Teferi avatar, blue-white land first. Oh yeah. I want to hold on to the underdog if we can, because it's a nice thing to throw away to Raffine. But if we get Raffine counter, I'll be very sad. Very sad indeed. I'm very sad indeed. Although if we got our underdog syncopated, that would have been sad as well. Not going to be short of land this time. This thing reminds me so strongly of the blue snow one. I can't remember what it was called. The Spirit. Like you want to level it up before you attack, but into this you can't. Like if it got Wandering Emperor, then. We've got two creatures we can try and play now, so let's give it a go. We don't want to give them a free memory deluge. At least we get our underdog down without being exiled by all the various exile counter spells. See if we can draw a Raffine. We can't. Okay. Wandering Emperor. Haven't had one yet, but they've just drawn one.
Run away. You'll be safer.
Let's get a card.
I am almost sad to see you go.
There's a lot of land here, 9 in the top 14, but the sleepers are getting us through the cards, so
I have got new moves to teach you.
got to kill off the Emperor, otherwise it's a free exile on our underdog. Fine. If it's not tapped, I don't mind. And we can hold with Ertai for a big counter of something brutal. Yeah, we can bounce that.
May your blade strike true.
Got enough land for 2 Ertais now.
I guess that's it then.
Yeah, I'll counter that. I'll give them a card instead of 2 that they choose. We'll take that. And if they've got any board wipes, they have to be sorcery speed, so we can counter those 2 with the other Ertai. Look at this. I know it's legendary, but it doesn't matter. They're not necessarily dead, because a bounce would still do it for them, but it doesn't feel like they have one. GG. Control. What control? Ertai control, baby. Straight into another one. Barely got a chance to sip my squash. And here we go again. At least we've got the lands for Raffine. Let's play this, keep them guessing. Not that I think people will take any, notice of what I play, but yeah, no, I know. Going to cost us 2 to play Raffine, but Underdog. Well, we've got some Raffines to discard to our Raffine. Yeah, discard please. Black land, no fun in my hand. Maybe you have a Liliana that you would like to play. Can't do a lot about that. Let's flash this through. It's a bit more filtering through our deck. Throw away those 2. That land didn't give me the blue I need for my Sphinx anyway. And we only have 1 land type, which is not great. We do need to get another creature down before 5 lands. Yeah, that is bad. So that works as Sphinx, but we are getting low to the Sheoldred. Then again, yeah, I mean the opponents are getting live, but let's say they're quite low. They can't invoke Despair this turn, thanks to Thalia, which is nice. They can meet hook for 2 though. Gosh. Got all the right black cards against us. Well, that is sort of what I needed. Ay. Okay, they must have another one in their hand. All of that.
You started this fight.
I couldn't take it because we'd be dead, so I don't feel bad about blocking. Jadar. Yuck. So I could play the Sphinx and not attack with Raffine and block with Raffine. None of this is good. This is gonna kill me due to no Ertai drawn. 4 in deck, none in hand. GG. Maybe we need a Brutal Cathar or two. Learning game. So we have done some deck tweaking. I have removed 2 Biting Palm Ninjas, sadly weren't the dream, and I have removed 1 Guardian of Benalia and added 3 Brutal Cathars. We'll keep this. So we still have 4, 6, 7, 11 2-drops in the deck, so there's a good chance of us drawing one. Well, just over 1 in 5. But if we don't, we got 3 drops, so hey, we got 1. Nearly played the wrong thing. That will do. So, probably Jund. Yeah, gonna be the classic Jund list. Let's have a peek. Fable, Weed, yeah. Get rid of both of those, pretty sweet. Well, not get rid of, but if they cost 5, they're a lot less useful. And if you've got 3 mana, you probably want to be using your Fable. I suppose that can kill off the Peacekeeper next turn. So we don't attack, we'll just hold open at Ertai. Could have countered that ability, but maybe I should have done that. Why didn't I do that? Better to get rid of the soul, I suppose. I reckon we just put Raffine in and get going. Yeah, that's nice. This Cathar's going to be more useful now. Get rid of the tokens. I think we're in nice shape. Opponent agrees. Game over. That last game was basically exactly how this deck wants to go. Like the perfect tempoing out. That's why it was nice. Got maybe a little bit lucky drawing our 2-drop, which we'll need to get again, but yeah, it's not a 2-drop, but it's not far off. So Naya colours. Interesting. Let's attack. I want to take a look at the hand. Try and work out what we're dealing with here. Could be some kind of enchantments deck, could be reanimator, I mean it could be anything. It's probably enchantments-ish. Fable again. Yeah. Definitely don't want 2 Fables. If we don't have Thalia, we have to play this on 3, basically. They've got the restoration, but it's not that helpful to them with nothing in the graveyard. Like, yeah, it's fine, but we can have a fast start compared to them. I would love to top a black land so we can level up our sleeper and put Raffine in. No, sad. But we can do this. Discard 2 underdogs. Pretty sweet. Guess that they will just ramp. See, if I was them, I'd probably ditch one of the Fables, but they never will. They never will. They didn't hold the Eiganjo. I got borrowed time for Peacekeeper. Okay, that's nice. So, we could flash this and level this. We can play both of these and level this. We can play this and one of these 2-drops. Probably not this. Maybe both of these. Most damage is to flash this and level this. That's 4 additional damage this turn. But yeah, well, we can discard this one, can't we? So let's get the Sphinx in. Now it's looking like a good option. Against Wandering Emperor, it's pretty solid. Obviously they can put in the Emperor and get rid of Raffine, but if they put a 6th land, they can open all 6 to get rid of the Sphinx. Either way, we're looking pretty nice. They could double Fable. Wouldn't recommend that though. The Rite of Harmony is a bit dead in their hand just because they're struggling against the tide of all of our stuff, but okay, just going to take out the Raffine now. So they're giving us a Sphinx trigger, which is nice. Might even be able to find another Raffine.
Not much of a roadblock.
So we still only got 2 black. I think we want to play this land and get another one. If we attack now, do we attack with the sleeper? If they block, we have to double level it. I think we do, don't we? It's worth paying a bit of mana to get rid of that Architect. No, they don't want us to. Don't blame them. Let's see what we get. Oh ho! Very interesting. No lands, which is nice. Ah, do we want another sleeper and an underdog? Thing is, we could play the underdog this turn. Or do we go with a destroy / counter that we can hold open? Yeah, we do. Do we destroy the architects? Yeah. They can have a card, but card is not what they want right now. They want board presence. I mean, double Fable, right, and then Fable. Borrowed time on the Sphinx. Takes them down to 1 mana. Yeah. I guess so, but we got 6 on board, so no right answer for them there. Ertai, powerful. Look at that. Okay. I am ready for more. I'm not very ready with this hand. No. Bit of a mad hand, but I mean, it might be alright against mono red. At least we'll have some like early blockers down. I assume the opponent wants to zap the sleeper, but maybe the Thalia. Okay. Yeah. No counter off the Kakazan, that's a 1 win for us. Oh, nothing hasty on that turn either. It's gotta be the Peacekeeper then, isn't it? So we'll attack. Lightning strike it is. That's brutal. Lightning strikes cost 4. Play with fire to face, doesn't even care about the sleeper. Probably will put a 4th land down and use 1 to kill the Peacekeeper, but that is a big turn. If we should get a land for Sheoldred, we are sorted. There we go. Mono red struggles against Sheoldred. We certainly won't be blocking, I'll tell you that much. Sweet. No problem. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, a quick look at the stats of the deck. So I've actually played 21 games of this deck now, so a fair amount. And look at the diverse range of stuff we've played against. It's pretty big. I mean, we'll talk about this exact mix in a minute, but 67% win rate. This is all in Mythic, so not shabby at all, I would say. Over 21 matches gives you a pretty good indicator that this will help you climb the ladder. I mean, look at this for me. It's been a climb upwards whilst playing this deck. Interesting that it's so much stronger on the play than the draw. That is not overly surprising. If you can get Thalia down on turn 2, it just makes those games against spell decks so much easier. Whereas if you can get Ertai out on tempo on turn 4 when the opponent's playing their turn 4 play, you know, that can make a big difference as well. So a lot of what we have is tempo plays because it's like the taxing effect. If you get your tax effect down before they play theirs, great. If you can't, then it's just slightly less effective. You know, your choice of what you can tax with the Peacekeeper is going to be lower. And yeah, all round it's just harder to play this type of like tempo quick deck on the draw. But so it's not too surprising. I'm surprised it's this different, but yeah. What it is surprising to me is that we've played mostly against mono white. Now that is quite shocking. I mean, we're doing okay against it because we're basically all the good cards from mono white with some better stuff thrown in. Obviously we don't play Wandering Emperors, we don't play any kind of, you know, Fateful Absence or March, But we are playing cards that can help us win against those, such as Thalia and Peacekeeper. So I'm not surprised that we win more against white. I think we would win a lot against black. That's kind of what, I'm always trying to build against at the moment. But interesting that we've only played once against black in Mythic, whereas I was playing against it all the time in Diamond. So that is very curious. Beating Jund is nice. Beating mono red consistently is nice. Struggling against the blue-white sort of what I call spellcrafty decks, the ones based around the targeting connive double striker and the Drake and things like that. It's interesting because obviously the best way to beat those decks is to kill the thing they target, and we don't have a lot of instant speed removal, so that will be a tough matchup for us. We don't have a lot of removal, and the removal that we have is sorcery speed, so it can be easily worked around with Shore Up, the one that gives hexproof and things like that. So yeah, that is going to be a tricky matchup, and if we start to see that more, deck more, this deck may struggle, potentially, but hopefully we'll run into black a little bit more so I can test that out. I would like to see that a bit more. 20% of our matches against mono white is a bit odd, but yeah, it was a really fun deck to play. I mean, let's just have a really quick look at the meta. If we look at popularity today, just in Mythic, yeah, still should be mostly black, but look at this fall off, the percentage of black. It was 56% black control, and that was just at the start of this month, and it's all the way down to like under 20 now. I mean, it is still the majority, but that is a drop off. So it's not surprising that we're seeing the rise of other things like enchantments. They're good against black. Red aggro is for quick wins, ladder climbing, yeah, and then the white aggro is what we've been playing against. So what we played against isn't reflective of the overall blend, but I can see, there's definitely been a shift over time. So anyway, the next video that I'll be putting out will probably be a Selesnya base deck, but it won't be enchantments. I think there is a lot of potential in Selesnya thanks to their Planeswalker tribe, basically, and the mana dorks similar to the green ramp deck that I did. I think diversifying that out to include another colour and ramping and using some top end of white as well could make a really strong deck, and I have been working on something to that effect. So next deck will be Selesnya based, so please do tune in for that. Otherwise, thank you very, very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please do like and subscribe. But otherwise, until next time, see you later.